Yesterday, I was upset. And I made a post. That post never made it to social media because that's not how I want to bring this message. I want to bring this message on a level where people can understand where I'm coming from and why I'm saying the things I'm saying. When you look at the history of black people, when you look at the history of African Americans, we were long before we were brought over here, long before the slave days, when African Americans came over here from Africa. Before the slave days, we didn't just come over here on slave ships. We were here before them, right? But during the slave days, people fought so that we wouldn't have slavery anymore, right? You have the civil rights era where people really fought so that we could have the right to vote. We have the right to have good jobs, right to live, the right to be treated fairly, right? We have people, generations of people that worked hard, tirelessly, gave their life. A lot of them gave their life for this. And I'm trying to say this without, getting flagged, but a lot of people were put on ropes, and they were found in trees. A lot of people were, taken out and beaten, right? So that we can have the right to live and enjoy life. When I look at society today, I'm speaking to our people, I'm speaking to minorities today. And this is really most people nowadays, not just minorities. But I have to say, what in the world was our ancestors fighting for? Because this ain't it. What we are doing, how we are taking advantage, or the lack of us taking advantage of the opportunities we have here, is mind-boggling. You had, back in the 40s and 50s, people of color had to go to a certain type of school. They can go to the best schools, or they can be in those certain types of restaurants. They can be in certain types of areas because of their skin color. So people fought so they can have these things. And for us to turn around and have all these opportunities right now and take advantage of it, but even more so than not just taking advantage of it, squandering these opportunities, making a mockery of what it means to be a black king or queen today, it is sad. It is disheartening. There's a lot of clownery and a lot of buffoonery going on. I get it. Some people want to be YNs. I get it. Some people want to be out there and be on the streets and be about that life. That's not what your ancestors fought for. And anybody age 40, 50, 60, 70 can tell you, yeah, I might have messed around for a little bit, but eventually I got things together. And they tell you, don't waste your time. Do better than what I did. Utilize the opportunities that you have at hand. I don't see people doing that these days. I went to the Black College Expo and I posted about it, right? I saw some awesome good things, right? And I had some videos I took. And in the comment section of this post, a lot of people keep saying, well, where are all the fights? I personally didn't see fights when I was there because we got up out of there by like 12:30. We were there for 2.5 hours, right? My students were there to see about getting an education, see about getting higher learning, see about the different colleges, the different services, different trades as well. See what it's all about and see what they could do to improve in their future. But you had a whole mass of people that came in later on that wasn't there for that. People told us they're coming there ready to run the fade, young people's terms for ready to start a fight, right? I'm sitting here thinking, why would certain people that think their race is better than everybody else's and they want to keep people in subjection, right? And they had these certain types of white hoods, right? And they did these things where they unalive folks back in the day, right? And still doing it today, but back then, it was really big, right? Now they do it in secrecy and darkness, and they make moves to keep people from getting into higher positions or getting people from getting better jobs. Why would those folks have to come down here and unalive us and do different things to harm us when we're doing it to ourselves? Our ancestors, I'm sure they're looking at the way our younger generation acts and they're thinking, what in the world? Because I know they was thinking that when they saw my generation was younger. But a lot of people from my generation that was nothing but acting a fool, a lot of them got their stuff together. And a lot of them, there was another large portion of them that got caught up in the struggle of what was supposed to be, quote unquote, real life, real world struggles, right? You had the different epidemics of drugs and things of that nature, You had assistance from the government, which basically pushed the fathers out of the homes. They say, okay, you can have this money, but he can't come live with you. So when the fathers come back from Vietnam, they can't even stay with their families, right? It was a whole setup, a mastermind plan that was put together a while ago. And this worked rather well, because I look at society today, I say, man, all these kids with no real role models, no real fathers in their home. And then some of the mothers are just as bad as the fathers is not in the home. The mothers are there, but not really there. You do have some families where you have both parents, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm not saying you have to have both parents in the household to raise a good child, because you don't have to. It definitely helps. It definitely helps. That's the original family structure that God created. However, when I look at what's going on today and how people are acting and how they have no respect for their elders, no respect for themselves, no desire to even try to find a better way of life, I have to say, man, all those people, all of our ancestors, all our people that gave their lives so that we can have something better, and this is how we repay them. It is sad. It is truly sad and disheartening. And what's worse is, I'm a firm believer in the Word of God. I've studied different books, different religions, theology, stuff like that, and I came to the conclusion long time ago, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh up to the Father but through him. But in his word, in the Holy Bible, he told us what it was going to be like in the last days, and he gave us a set of parameters to look at, to know how we should live. And then he painted a vivid picture of how things are going to look in the last days, what we will see happening leading up to that time. And these are the things we're seeing going on right now in society every day, in politics every day, in our interaction with other countries, and the wars and the rumors of wars, the price of goods, the massive amounts of people that are being unalived for nothing nowadays, right? And you have to say, you know what? People are caught up in a trick bag. It's like the programming is real, so real, because they don't even realize they put themselves in a position to miss out on the great blessing of being with God. When people are so self-involved in what they want to do, not taking time out for Him, they're so self-involved in what they want to do and their enjoyment and their self-pleasure, that they can't see that there's a better way. They can't see that they should be focused on their future and not just today. You have a huge problem. Now, when you take that and multiply that by the massive amount of people that have this mindset nowadays, you wonder why our country's going to heck in a handbasket. It's like we're on a razor blade falling down into an alcohol bath, Hope I don't get flagged for saying that. But it's real out here. People are being unalived for the littlest things. And people don't care. And that's biblical too. The Bible said people will be like this in this last days. And it's like, man, people, get it together before it's too late. Whether the rapture happens this year, next year, 5 years from now, one thing is certain. Our country is going to change real quick, like before the end of 2025. We are only a month in, just over a month and 3 days in, and we already see how much is changing. You've got protests going on here right now. You got where they're taking over the freeways and protesting the new policies based on immigration and stuff like that. You've got aeronautical vehicles falling out of the sky, and even more so than the ones falling out of the sky, you've got tons of them that have mechanical issues all of a sudden, right? You've got chemical plants here in the United States on fire, battery plants, ammo plants, and stuff like that. Things that just didn't used to happen before, happening with a greater frequency. Then you have all the chatter about the possibility of things that can cause mass destruction, right? And so I just want you people to be aware. I want my people to be aware. When I say my people, I'm talking about human beings, black, white, Latino, Jew, Gentile. We need to find God. We need to find God quick. You don't want to be around for tribulation. Trust me, you don't. Not the Great Tribulation. Not the Great Tribulation. You think we're living in hell now, and this is hell. You have no clue, no concept, no idea. This isn't even close to what hell is like. You talk about the burning and the fire and things of that nature, but people don't focus on the fact that when you're in hell, there's a separation from God. That within itself has to be one of the most monumental part of the torture, being separated from God for eternity. Say, player, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. Find them and find them fast. I'm going to drop some knowledge here over the next couple of days that breaks down what the Bible said it was going to be like in the last days. I've done it Every couple of years, I drop real information on this so people can really see what's going on. But right now, I want people to take a look at it and see how close it is. We there, y'all. We right around the corner. 2025 is on and popping. Last Days Navigator.